Hello and welcome to Brodual. This time we have our 4th episode of Bits and Bobs. This is a series where we outline a bunch of smaller mods in a short and to the point fashion. First up we have Armorsmith Extended. This is a mod that aims to open up armor and outfits in the game by letting you mix and match between them. As you've probably experienced for yourselves, only certain pieces of armor can be equipped over certain outfits. Well, the mod opens all of that up, allowing every outfit in the game to be worn under any pieces of armor. It also lets you wear any face items, like bandanas or gas masks, while also wearing a hat or helmet. On top of that, every outfit in the game can be modded to the full extent of the vault suits, so you can add padding, energy resistance and all the rest of it to any piece of armor. And then finally, every outfit can also have the weave armor added to it, opening up even more crafting options for your outfits. I think this is what a lot of people were hoping for when Bethesda originally announced layered armor sets. So if you're not a fan of all the restrictions and want more freedom in your gear building, this is the mod for you. Next up we have Realistic Lights. This is a mod that removes all of the invisible, unrealistic light sources from the game, and makes it so other areas rely on the actual light sources that you can see around you, like lamps, headlights and others. Until you see the before and afters you might not have even noticed the invisible light sources, but once you do it's hard to unsee them. The mod inevitably makes most areas darker, but we found that areas were still light enough to see. It's not like areas are all of a sudden pitch black, because there's still those realistic light sources to keep things lit. The mod will mostly come down to personal preference, but we really like the change it makes. Especially early on during the intro when you're escaping the vault. The darker rooms and the more dramatic effect the spinning lights have is a really cool aesthetic. The change is also fitting alongside our third mod for today, Remove Interior Fog. Similar to Realistic Lights, it aims to remove some of the unrealistic gamey elements to improve realism. This time it's removing the indoor fog, but only the type that's seen at long distances and disappears when you walk up close to it. This is especially noticeable in bigger rooms, and I think it's used as a way to increase performance, but I'm not really sure. We didn't notice a drop in frames with the mod installed, but that seems like a logical reason for the fog in vanilla. Again, this is another mod that'll come down to personal preference, but we think the addition of realistic lights and remove exterior fog together is an interesting change that we'll be sure to try out after our first unmodded playthrough. Today's 4th mod is called Mega Explosions. Just as the name suggests, it aims to make explosions bigger and more dramatic. The mod will affect every explosion in the game, from grenades to mines and of course nukes. When you first download the mod you'll get to choose between 2 size options, one that makes them 1.5 times bigger and another that makes them 2 times bigger. You'll also get to decide how the new bigger explosions are handled, whether you want them to have also bigger explosive power or whether you want the size to be purely for visuals. This is helpful if you want the bigger explosions without having to deal with the balancing issues that come along with it. If you've ever felt like explosions look too puny for your manly tastes, then try out Mega Explosions. For today's number 5 we have an amazing retexture for the double-barreled shotgun. This comes from the mod author Millennia, who you might know as the creator of some of the best weapons and weaponry textures for Fallout 3, New Vegas and Skyrim. Before he can add new weapons entirely to Fallout 4, he's starting with some retextures, and this is his first one. The mod is definitely an improvement, and it almost makes the original look like plastic or rubber in comparison. There's just so much more detail all over the weapon, from the sights to the trigger, and the rusting effects looks really cool in our opinion. This is an author you'll definitely want to keep your eye on over the next year or two. And finally, the last mod for today is the Wearable Travel Backpack. Popular backpack mods have been available for Fallout 3, New Vegas and even Skyrim, but Bethesda has yet to take the hint and add one to the base game. Well, I guess that's what mods are for. The Wearable Travel Backpack was put together using the travelling leather coat from the base game, and as of right now, unless you download an additional mod that makes it craftable, you can only get your hands on it using console commands. The backpack doesn't add stats and can be equipped alongside nearly any outfit or pieces of armor in the base game. Just add Armorsmith Extended to be sure. So if you've always wanted to empty your pockets and have a place to carry around all that scrap, you can find a link for the mod as well as all of the others down below. As always, be sure to leave endorsements on any mod you enjoy, and just before we wrap up today's spotlight, we'd like to thank WeMesh for sponsoring this episode. WeMesh is a video watching app that lets you share and watch videos with friends in perfect sync. It's great for watching movie trailers, let's plays, or even our own videos with friends from anywhere in the world at the exact same time. You can even talk or chat via text while watching too, and to get it today you can find a link in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching.